Okay. Look, this is part 2 of Shots Fired. Season 1, episode 4, Hour 4, Truth is what the name of the episode is. And we were talking about this governor Governor Emmons had just, at a town hall meeting, she had just announced her Emmons educational program. And then we see her meeting with the private investor who was sponsoring her Emmons educational plan. Let me see if I can find my notes. I was trying to just talk us up. And they kind of went over the numbers. His name is Arlen Cox. So he was kind of going over the numbers, and he was just saying that, everything was cool, with what they had already previously agreed on. But he just wanted to change one thing to go from 85% occupancy to 88% occupancy. So we were in the middle of talking about, modern day slavery, or I don't even know if we should call it modern day slavery, just, the ongoing continued enslavement of black folks and other folks in what is called the prison industrial complex, or prisons or jails, or whatever you want to call it. And he said that she said to his attorney, I thought we had a deal. That's not what we agreed to. And the attorney is like, well, we almost have a deal. If you go along with this, you would be able to support your educational plan. So, she's basically like breaks up the meeting. And later on, I don't think I took this down in my notes, but later on we see her talking to her assistant, who is the same woman who has been, I can't remember her name offhand, but she's been having, a sexual relationship with prep school Preston. They kind of have a little back and forth, and her assistant is basically like, go with your heart, you know how you feel, what you think, and so the governor is like, get Cox, what's his name? Arlen Cox. Get Arlen Cox on the phone, I think. So we don't know what she's going to do about that. But, Lord, I guess I kind of feel like, sometimes it'd be feeling like it's just one thing after another. It's systemic. It's like the whole system is just lined up after you. If it's not housing, it's education. It's not housing and education, it's the prison industrial complex. It's not the prison industrial complex, it's cops shooting you down on the street. It's not cops shooting you down on the street, it's getting jobs. It's like all, and it's not just, private citizens, but the whole government that seems to be lined up. You go away to the military, but if you're black, you don't get the same benefits that white people get when they go away to the military. Their benefits help them to build wealth. Your benefits, don't help you to do shit. It costs you more when you're black and or poor. It just seemed like so many things be lined up against you. I want to have a victory on this fictitious TV show, but I also, it's like, you want to have victories in real life. And I have to believe, just because it's my spiritual belief system, I guess, or maybe it's hope, or maybe it's foolishness, or, I don't know what it is, but you just want to believe that you can't see and understand everything, so that there are forces and there are things that are happening that maybe I can't see or that I can't understand. But sometimes it just feels like, damn, white supremacy just stay winning. Like, can we get a break or 2 or 3? It just seemed like it's just, woo. So, I want to see us win in fiction, and I want to see us win in real life. And, quiet as is kept, if you look at, what black and brown people are doing, and you look at the history, it's sort of like amazing that we're able to stand up straight and speak at all, let alone accomplish any of the things that we accomplish, let alone, all of the amazing and wonderful things that we accomplish. So, quiet as it's kept, we are winning, and we continue to win. Just refocusing on what's working and refocusing on good and on God. But, oh, baby, sometimes, okay, so we talked about that. And then, They thought we had a deal, and they say we almost have a deal. So then the next time we see the governor, I think she's with her daughter. Her daughter's name is Katie. And Katie feels that liberals like her mom are racist and hypocrites, is basically what she's saying. And she says, I think that what was said at the town hall meeting, I'm not quoting her exactly, is right. You won't let me go to school near the houses, and you should. And her mom is like, well, it's not. Her parents are like, we don't want to talk about this shit. It's not safe. It's not cool. It's, she's like, well, what's not safe? Are you saying the black people aren't safe? And she's like, no, it's just a situation. Well, the situation is made up of people, the little girl says. So, hey, there you, Miss Katie, yes. Shoot. Send your child over to the houses and then get your ass in there and fight to make that a place that you would want your children to be. If it's good enough for my children, if it's good enough for our children, why isn't it good enough for your children? Governor Emmons and Governor Snyder, who came to Detroit or Flint or whatever and pretended that he drank the water and pretended that he was going to take water with him and drink it for a month, and then went out of town, 2 days later and said he couldn't continue his water drinking bullshit that I didn't believe in the first place anyway. Full of shit, mother. God bless us all. Okay. So, yeah. Woo! So we see Corey, that's the little kid, the 17-year-old young man who's the pedal bike Jersey kid. He's scared. Ash has put in another request for protective custody to him. When they met with the boss earlier, she did ask for protective custody. The boss was kind of like, he's analyzing the details. He's like, well, I'll look into it. Ash knows she got to make a strong case, but she's put in another request. She doesn't want to come off as like, the upset black person who's like, racism everywhere. Because, she has to come in with some strong evidence. She can't just come in with her feelings and with her experience. She can't just come in with her feelings and her experience and her truth and what's real. So she's also having the college drug dealers' weed tested to see if the weed that was in white JC's glove box and the black JC's weed are the same. There's a little scene where Prep School Preston and Ash are reenacting JC's murder. Prep School Preston plays the white JC and Ash plays the black officer Beck. And we kind of see in that scene where Ash is still, and we already knew this, but she is still feeling a way and dealing with the repercussions of killing somebody. Her training officer had told her to kill somebody and she killed somebody. I can't really remember the details, but shoot, all of that, killing people that's some serious stuff to be carrying around for most people. If you have feelings, if you have any compassion, that's heavy. White. So next scene we see white boss Breland. We find out that he has been the first on the scene with both the black and the white JCs. So there is an older black woman that's being brought into the sheriff's station with Pressed Ash. That's Preston and Ash together. Pressed Ash. Is it going to catch on? I don't know. And she says that Breland, white officer Breland, boss Breland, whatever, killed her husband. And she said every Sunday on the way to church, Breland would be pulling him over for 2 months. And finally, her husband stood up and he was arrested, her husband, for non-compliance. And she said he died 2 months later. And she said it was stress. He's a 72-year-old man and he is still dealing with harassment. And it's like the cumulative stress of dealing with that stuff all your life. When we see little baby boy who was in jail for 3 years in solitary confinement for 2 years over supposedly stealing a backpack that he did not steal, that shit is stressful. When I learned on my college campus, I didn't know this, but that the young black men, when they were coming off and on, and my college was on a street. So 116th Street was my college campus. So I would walk in off and on campus and didn't even know it, that the black men were being asked for their ID. But that's a street. You don't have to have ID to walk through a street. So anyway, that's stressful for them. And then we have all kinds of stress in small ways and little ways, the microaggressions, the macroaggressions, and then you just combine that with 72 years and ongoing. And then when you get older, they still can't give your ass a break. I mean, good Lord, help us. So she said that, he died from dealing with the harassment and nothing happened with the complaint. So I don't know if she made a complaint against Breland or he made a complaint against Breland, but there's some complaintation that was not dealt with because it was us complaining. So then we see a white man with glasses. He goes into Pedalbike Jersey Kid's hotel room. His name is Corey, I think I know now. And we see that 2 shots are fired. I saw somebody say that it was 3 shots fired. It could have been. But anyway, some shots are fired. He pulls the curtain. He has shot an empty bed. We then see the kid, Corey, the Pedalbike Jersey Kid, being put into protective surgery, and Ash says they're safe. So it's like just in the nick of time. Who is it that was trying to kill the child? What does he know? And he says that he doesn't even know. He didn't even realize that anyone had seen him see the execution of Black JC go down. But when they were chasing him, right when we met him at the beginning of the series, that's when his family realized, oh shoot, maybe somebody saw something and they've been hiding him, because you don't go to the police to investigate the police, right? Oh, stress. See, more stress. And even just talking about it, I'm stressed out. My heart rate is probably up. And this is just fiction. And we know, well, yeah. Okay, so here is the line of the episode. When Preston tells her, there's an invention called email, because we see her dropping a letter in the mailbox. And she says, there's another invention called kiss my ass. That sounds like a line I would use. And he laughs. I like that whole little interaction. They have some nice chemistry. Then we see Press Ash. Remember, that's Preston and Ash together, questioning White Officer Brooks. I'm not really sure about White Boss Breland. And he says that he does not think that Boss Breland is dirty, and that the next time you want to talk, call my union rep. Press Ash questions Breland, and he says then I was confused. I think I said earlier I got to do some research, because I think when I see him out of uniform, I'd be like, who is that guy? But I think it must have been Breland, White Boss Breland. But he basically tells this whole story about his father and his relationship with his father and his father's death, and at his father's funeral, people coming up saying he was a good man, and he's realized basically that good and bad doesn't exist. And I guess on some hand, in one way, I can kind of understand that, stuff has to be put in context. But then on another hand, I'm kind of like, I think that good and bad do exist. And I think that right and wrong exist. I don't know. I feel like I need to go back. I remember when I was in the 5th grade, we used to have religion classes at St. Benedict's. And that was one of my favorite classes, just thinking about stuff and trying to understand stuff and trying to be a good person. My battery is low, so let me shut up. So baby boy Sean Campbell is like having a fit. He does not want to go to that white school. He's arguing with his mom. He is just having a breakdown. She breaks down and she's just like, I do not want to lose you. Stress, lose you like I lost your brother. This is your best chance. It's a good situation for you. I want you to be here. And so we see him being bussed. When he gets to the school, it's kind of like, we don't know what to expect. He don't know what to expect. Stress. He done already been to the town hall meeting and saw the hostility, and just the whiteness of the environment, no reflection of him, no welcoming of him. And so when he gets there, there's a white kid who's walking up a walk with the box. We don't know what's in the box, but what's in the box, hallelujah, praise the Lord, is a little boy has t-shirts. So I don't remember little boy's name, but he gives baby boy Campbell a t-shirt that has the name of the new school, Lorton Bulldogs or whatever. And it says, here's a t-shirt. You're welcome to the school, and you want to help me give out t-shirts to the other children. So that was sweet. Shoot, we need some relief after all this daggone stress y'all putting us through. Shots fired. So the weed, it turns out that the white and the black JC had the same strain of weed, which says something because there are over 600 strains in the state. So there is some connection between these two young folks. These youth are connected. Press Ash gets the boss to open a case on the black JC, and the boss wants to know how was the black JC murdered and what is the link between the two JCs. Are they playing on this Jesus Christ thing? Because that's what I was thinking when I started using the JC thing at the beginning of this episode when I was looking at my notes. And he asked them if they need more folks to help with the investigation. They're like, nah, just the two of us. It's a delicate operation. So they're like, yay, let's celebrate. Ash looks at Preston. She like, do you know how to celebrate? They go to a club. Why this case? You can choose. Oh, and he asked her, why did you have all this experience, this seniority? Why did you get this case? You can choose which cases you get. Why did you get this one? You trying to work out how you feel about shooting that kid, and she says she thinks about him every day. And he's like, well, it's not your fault. It's your training officer's fault. And she's like, okay, whatever, let's dance. And she gets up and she's backing up and he's like, no, I don't dance. And then there's a guy behind her. He kind of starts dancing with her and she's dancing with him. And then he starts taking it a little bit too far. And she like, okay, cool, dude, we good. And he like, nah, we not good. Keep dancing with me. And she's like, I'm good. And then he tried to like act like he gonna force her to, and then prep school Preston gets up in there and he backs her up. So there's like this whole little, thing. It's a showdown between Press Ash versus the other dude and his dude. And then, they step down. But so that's that. I think that might be all of my notes. So they kind of feeling a little, the chemistry, and he got to see her dance, and she got to see him stand up and be manly or whatever. So that's basically the end of the episode. The episode ended, I told y'all at the beginning how it ended, but let's go back to the top. So we see Pastor Janae Pratt preaching at Chosen House. Now 3 white people come in. I wasn't quite clear who they were, but she tells them they're welcome. Ash and Preston go their separate ways. Even though there's all this chemistry, they go their separate ways, but we know by the end of, we know where it's headed, but they doing it in a respectable or whatever way. We see Black Officer Beck with his family in one bed sleeping, and we know why they're all sleeping together now. They're concerned about their safety, and he don't want his children going out of the house in the middle of the night, even if they got capes on. We all in the same bed. If you moving, maybe I'm gonna feel it. And then the white boss Breland is looking at Ash's file. So that's it. Oh my gosh, I done spoke about shots fired in life just for 18 million hours. And I think that it's because of Underground. I think between Underground, shots fired, I don't know if Greenleaf is really in that category, but Rebel, just all of this, it's a lot of conversation. A lot of this quote unquote entertainment is very, I don't even know really if political is the word, but realistic in dealing with, the real life issues that, we deal with in life. So, I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's kind of got me a little hyper or a little, I don't know what I need to do. I need to go watch. I was watching Annie the other day, and I was going to say I need to go watch Disney, but that kind of got on my nerves too. So that's a whole nother story. But it's my story. What's your story? What you thinking about? What you think? What you like? What you don't like? You watching Shots Fired? How you doing today? All right. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. Bye.